Hey everybody, welcome back. And this will be my latest installment of 1970s series of the week. I usually do these a little bit earlier in the week, but it's kind of been a busy week in some respects, so better late than never. And this will be, I really hate to say this, this is going to be my last video of this year. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Anyway, in all seriousness, this is a series I'm sure a lot of you guys know and or have heard of. But we're going to be doing the first volume of Marvel's Marvel feature. It ran from December '71 to I think November '73. 12-issue series. A lot of good stuff in here, obviously, and one of my favorite short series. I'm going to try to do these where the series isn't longer than, anywhere from 10 to 15 issues. And if it goes longer than that, I'll probably like split it up into two parts. That way the video won't run too long, and I can kind of give all the details or pay as much attention to it as I can. Obviously, first issue, I'm sure a lot of you guys have or have seen. Marvel feature number 1. A lot of things I love about this book. One thing being it's a square-bound book, one of my absolute favorite formats. Got a great Neil Adams cover with Hulk, Submariner, and Dr. Fate. And this is the first appearance of the Defenders. Not really. Actually, the origin of the Defenders starts back in Doctor Strange 183. Goes through an issue of Submariner, an issue of the Hulk, and a couple more issues of Submariner before landing back here to what we know as the Defenders' first appearance proper. But I'll get into that in another video that I've been wanting to do for a while. But here you have Marvel feature number 1. First official appearance of the Defenders. Neil Adams cover. Lead story by Roy Thomas. On the art you got Ross Andru and Bill Everett. And I really like Ross Andru. He did a lot of stuff for Marvel, obviously, with Spider-Man and a lot of other stuff. But, I remember from when I was a kid, because when he did Wonder Woman and Metal Men and a lot of the war stuff. Did some World's Finest, some Superman and Flash. And most of the time I saw him, his inker was Mike Esposito. In this book, it's Bill Everett, and I like Bill Everett's art. He's one of the classics, but for some reason in this issue, they really don't match up, and I hate to say it, but the art in this looks like chicken scratches. I do not know why, but the story is good, but just, let me get a little bit more light going on here. It's just that, in this, the pairing just really doesn't match up. Like I say, the story's pretty good. You got a couple actually, you got one reprint. You have a Submariner reprint by Bill Everett in here, which is really good. And you actually have a new Doctor Strange story by Roy Thomas and Don Heck. So, like I say, a great little package, other than the seriously lacking art, which is kind of funny, because when I get to issue 3, I'll explain what I mean by that. But a great cover, great square-bound book, number 1. Number 2, more Defenders. Got one of these beloved picture frame covers that I'm so crazy about. Got a John Buscema, John Romita cover. I think Frank Giacoia did some alterations on the faces, I do believe. I think there was a lot of that going on if they didn't feel it. I think DC did the same thing with Jack Kirby. They redrew Jack Kirby's faces when he came over and started working for DC in '71. But I think Frank Giacoia redid Submariner's face for some reason. Not sure why. But, great cover nonetheless. Picture frame cover. I think Roy Thomas wrote this one too. And actually on this one, the art looks a little bit better, I will say, because Sal Buscema inked the story on this one. Got another Submariner reprint. And yeah, nice old book. Marvel feature number 2, Against the Dread Dormammu. Okay, in issue number 3, probably my favorites of the run, favorite cover of the run anyway. More Defenders, and this is the last appearance of the Defenders in this title. There we have another stunning cover by Gil Kane, and I think Ralph Reese inked this one. Got a great black picture frame cover. I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of like an early 70s Justice League cover, like something Neil Adams would have done. But we have the great Gil Kane. This is what I call a Dr. Von Chilla special on this cover. But a great story, and the thing about this one is you have the same art team of Ross Andru and Bill Everett, and in this one the art looks good. I mean, it really matches up, and I don't know what the difference is between this issue and the first issue that Everett inked, but for some reason, like I say, the first issue looked like chicken scratches. I mean, anybody that's got those books and can compare them, I'd advise you to do so just to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, the art was a whole lot better in this one with Everett on the inks. But the first issue, I'm not really sure if they were doing a rush job or somebody had a few too many to drink that night or whatever. But the art is a whole lot better. Like I say, got a great cover. And the last issue that the Defenders appeared in before their own title of Defenders number 1 was Zemnu the Titan. Also has an appearance by Jim Wilson, the Hulk's sidekick for a long time, in this issue. Okay, another great picture frame cover, number 4. With this issue, it switches over to Ant-Man being the lead character in this feature. And I was just on the phone to my good buddy Rod, Dr. Silver Age, and we were talking about this, and there's another cover that looks almost like this. But Rod, this was the one you were talking about, and I apologize, but I thought it was the other one, but this was the one you were talking about with the nail going into the foot. Number 4, another great picture frame cover. Got Ant-Man on the cover. Herb Trimpe on the pencils and inks, my favorite all-time Hulk artist and one of my favorite Marvel artists of all time. This is actually, for you Spider-Man completists, it's actually got a crossover with Spider-Man in there. Mostly Peter Parker, but there's some Spider-Man too. But a great story. I think with this issue, Roy Thomas and Mike Friedrich did the scripts, and it's Herb Trimpe art, pencils and inks all the way through. Okay, number 5, another great cover. This is all Herb Trimpe. Ant-Man against Egghead. Another great picture frame cover. I think probably from here on out until like issue 12, I think Mike Friedrich did all the scripts, and Herb Trimpe did most of the art. I think it's Trimpe on the pencils and inks on this. Like I say, he's going against Egghead. I think he got an appearance by the Wasp or Janet Van Dyne in this story. Sorry about the glare, but got most of these in Mylar. Got a couple of these that I got duplicates of. Some of these I bought, when I first started getting back issues, back when I was a teenager. But there's issue 6, more Ant-Man and the Wasp against the Whirlwind. This is my original copy. You can tell it's kind of a little bit beat up, especially on the spine over here. But a really nice reading copy anyway. More Herb Trimpe on the cover, and more Trimpe pencils and inks on the interior. And I've said this before, Herb Trimpe is one of the great, I don't know, I think he's just kind of overlooked, great artist. Here's my high grade copy, number 6. And number 7, another great cover. Another great Gil Kane masterpiece, Gil Kane and Joe Sennett More Ant-Man and Wasp. And the art in this one is by P. Craig Russell and Dan Adkins. Another great art team. So all around great package here. Okay, number 8. More Ant-Man and Wasp. I think this is actually Jim Starlin and Mike Esposito on the cover. And I think, yeah, this has got part of a reprint from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, I think from Tales to Astonish 44. But a cool story, like I say, P. Craig Russell art, Dan Adkins. Got some great Kirby art in the reprint. And I think actually Jim Starlin might have did some of the pencils on this. Okay, another. Here's my high grade copy of that. And this is the one I was confused about with the nail, because in the issue 4 he had a nail in his hand. There's Marvel feature number 9. More Ant-Man and the Wasp. Another great cover. John Romita and Mike Esposito. You got an Iron Man crossover in this one, along with Whirlwind and Dr. Nemesis. More P. Craig Russell art. I think Frank Bowl, Bolly, however you pronounce his name, did the inks. I think he did a lot of stuff for Gold Key. Maybe a lot of those painted covers that you see from the 60s and 70s. Somebody might want to check me on that. But a great cover. Another nail in the foot cover. Okay. Issue 10. Last issue with Ant-Man and Wasp in it. Another great cover. It's Dr. Nemesis. I think we got P. Craig Russell and Dan Adkins on the art. And I think, again, you got Frank Giacoia on some alterations. You got some appearances by the Avengers. And I think there's like a couple backups, because the story ends kind of like halfway through. It ends kind of abruptly, you know, where I guess it just finishes out the story. But you got a couple of really cool little mystery horror reprints in the back. More P. Craig Russell art. I think Frank, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Chiaramonte or something, was the inker. I remember seeing his name on a lot of DC stuff in the 70s. Issue 10. Okay, here's another cover I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It goes from Ant-Man to The Thing, and co-starring the Hulk. Another awesome cover. One of my favorites. And says it lasts in his own Smash series, but this only lasted this issue and the next issue. But another great Thing and Hulk fight. Jim Starlin and John Romita on the cover. I think Len Wein wrote this one. And the pencils were by Jim Starlin, inks by Joe Sennett. And you got a cameo by the Fantastic Four, an Iron Man, and a leader, and some character called Kurgo. Not sure. But a cool little issue. And last issue, number 12, Against the Blood Brothers. I think these are like Iron Man villains. But you have The Thing and Iron Man. This is my original copy, one of the 2 that I had. So last issue of Marvel Feature, the 1971 series. I think there was another series came out in maybe late 70s, featured like Red Sonja and a couple other characters. But another great cover. More Jim Starlin and John Romita. Got some appearances by Thanos in this one, Star Fox. Not sure who else. I have to read it again. But more Jim Starlin and Senate art on the inside. I think the Vision co-stars and the Controller. So that was the last issue. Here's my high grade copy. And on the blurb on the end of this one, it says next issue, Man Thing. So I guess this was meant to be a vehicle for the Thing for a while, but they actually canceled this book, and this led in directly into the first issue of Marvel 2-in-1, where the Thing teamed up with everybody. So there you go, a little bit more trivia. Marvel feature number 12. Alright, cool little series. There might be a couple issues in this you have to spend a few dollars on, but really it's in a hard series to try to accumulate. You know, I was lucky enough to get some good deals on a couple lots. Then I bought a couple issues, bought a couple singles over the years. But a nice little series, a lot of great stories, a lot of good history of Marvel, some nice guest appearances. Like I say, this one leads right into a Marvel 2-in-1. So there you are, Marvel feature. Alright guys, probably won't see you again until the new year. So I want to wish everybody the happiest new year you can have, and don't party too hard tomorrow night. I'm sure I probably won't. No music gig this year, so probably staying at home. But anyway guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and as always, onward and upward.